Our shortcomings in the United States are actually based on the education. We have a civic duty, and we have a duty from our public servants to build a framework of education in the country that provides equal opportunity. We're not doing that. As exemplary as our university system is, but I think the university system, I think you give it an A+, but I think you give the K through 12, the state-sponsored, and the local school system, which is tied to our property taxes, I think it's very uneven, and frankly, I think it's very unfair. Moreover, if you told me the zip code of the child, I can tell you whether or not the kid is getting a good public school education. And by the way, that wasn't the case 50 years ago when I was in elementary school. It's a different environment. There was a different culture. There was a different level of state funding in addition to local funding. There was, federal funding into these smaller communities to try to even out the playing field. And so we've dropped all of that. We stopped teaching the civic duties in the country. I think people really don't understand. If I say separation of powers to a 12-year-old in the 6th grade, we learned about that. The kids aren't learning about that now. They're not understanding the system and the beauty of the system, the decentralized system that's created all of this growth and all this prosperity. So that's where the real threat is. If you don't educate the people, then they don't get the joke about the democracy, what Churchill said about the democracy. It's a terrible form of government, democracy, Churchill said, until you compare it to the other forms of government.